Deerfield, and I am a recent resident of the state of Vermont, meaning about 4 or 5 years ago, my wife and I moved up here full time. But we have long-term roots in Vermont, and her father has a place here, and so it seemed like the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through a transition at that point in time by selling my business. And so we're here, and I was looking for some new things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was networking about and looking for potential board positions and things I could get involved with from a charitable point of view. And came upon this opportunity as something that my background fit well with. Good fortune that we both have to have found each other is that Ascutney Outdoors was founded about 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was initially the dream of one person, Glenn Seward here in town,
Mm-hmm.
to buy the land out of the bankruptcy. And that was phase one. And then Ascutney Outdoors was founded to say, well, now what are we going to do with this? And the initial board was really a group of very enthusiastic, very passionate people, passionate about biking, skiing, the community. And really with their passion, things got started. But when I was invited to join and ultimately become chair, we were at a crossroads. We stayed
Mm-hmm.
really small, or we tried to do something more.
Right.
And to do more, you need to take on more. You need to develop the organization as a business, if you will. And we kept getting more support and kept growing until we're now at really the end of the next phase of our development, which was building out our infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
It included the Ascutney Outdoor Center,
Right.
the tubing lift, now the T-bar this year. The rope tow actually came first. And really creating a whole base of operations that's really the gateway to this beautiful mountain, this 1,854 acres of conserved land,
Mm-hmm.
which is there both for recreation and conservation. So I would describe this as following. I'll start with about 150 volunteers, of which most are very active.
Mm-hmm.
We are a volunteer-driven organization. We have no full-time staff. We have a couple of part-time staff, but we are driven by the enthusiasm of volunteers who are either passionate about a particular activity, such as mountain biking,
Mm-hmm.
or by just a commitment to the town. And there are a lot of people in this town, small town of Brownsville, who really care about what's happening here and about their community. It does require some leadership, and so I would describe the next core group
Mm-hmm.
being some super volunteers, actually,
Mhm.
but in addition, a group of board members. There are 9 of us,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have some board affiliates who are typically prior board members who've served a term or two, but now they stay involved.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at our core, in the past 3 years, it really has been building the organization,
Mm-hmm.
doing extensive fundraising so we could afford this,
Mm-hmm.
putting some systems in place so we had a professional organization, and there are reasons for those things. So it's run well,
Mm-hmm.
and then increasingly now, the mission of the organization is to bring events and activity to the mountain and thereby to the community. And so our events committee and our operations/activities committee, as well, which by the way does particularly works hard in the wintertime, and then our partners at STAB, Sport Trails of the Ascutney Basin, who do all the bicycle work and trail work. We have these 3 groups, sort of events, if you will, winter activities, summer activities, and they don't happen by themselves.
Right.
And so we have a really strong group of people that are working on that, and also trying to professionalize it in the sense that if you set up the right processes, then you're not reinventing the wheel every time.
Mhm.
Today, to do a capital campaign like this,
Yeah.
it really comes down to energizing a core group of donors, individuals and foundations, government grant.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I should add that in any fundraising event today, you're going to have a concentration of folks who care. Just like in our volunteers, we have super volunteers, we have
Right.
super donors. But
Are the plans for Ascutney Outdoors and Trails moving forward? Or
yeah. So 2 things. I'll start with the boring thing and then go to the exciting part. So the boring thing is we've just pulled this all together, and so one of the key elements of our charter is to be sustainable and be here for the long term. So sometimes we forget because we've made so much good progress, but we now really need to make sure that we get everything really buttoned down and
right.
this building here has only been open for 6 months. The T-Bar is just going to open. The Roto was the first time last year. I think they're all doing great, but we want to make sure that it can continue to do so, and that, frankly, we bring in new people in the next generation, so they can do so. So if, in a way, I think we at Ascutney Outdoors have gifted something to the next generation, but it's going to take work. So we're starting to work on it right now. We think it could be a huge opportunity for us. The circumference of the mountain, of Mount Ascutney, is just about 26.2 miles. We could make it 26.2 miles, if you will.
Right.
So you know where I'm headed with this one. And it would be unique to the Northeast. In fact, there aren't many places that have something like that. So around the mountain marathon.
Yeah.
But we'd also like to make it, because there's a big horse community here in town and in the greater Upper Valley, as to expanding our horse riding trails, again, around the mountain.
Right.
And not even for a marathon, just have the trail around the mountain. So I believe it will become a reality, and I think that alone would draw. Other than that, what we'd like to do is actually listen to the community and see what ideas percolate up organically.
Yeah.
We definitely are going to partner with the Brownsville Butcher and Pantry for some community events. We're going to start with a couple this summer, where they will come up and offer food, and we'll offer something. It could be a nature talk, a nature walk. It could be a music. On a small informal basis. We are creating our own summer solstice festival this year.
Cool.
We just announced that. So we're working on some things, but all those are within the context of kind of what we have here.
Right.
What matters to this town is that there's a sense of vitality. And I think that's an important concept to reiterate, because, you know, so many people were drawn to this area because of its beauty, and it's got so much going for its location relative to metropolitan areas, and, you know, in the Upper Valley, all this great stuff. But it really was a hit to the gut when the resort went down here for reasons of mismanagement and whatnot. And the town lost something. And I think the town now feels almost unanimously, if you will, that what's really come back here is vitality. It's not just the people that come, but it's the whole fact that sense that there's something to be proud of and overcame the adversity. And I think that's every bit as valuable to people as, you know, the number of people that comes for bike rides and whatnot.
Sure.
So that's